Hello, I'm Caroline and I'm the Director of Finance and Support Services at Tigon Games. I would like to introduce you to my colleagues, some of whom you will be coaching along with me. Firstly, about the Board of Directors and myself. I am 44 years old and my interests are playing the violin, which I have done since I was 3 years old, and saving the planet. My violin teacher is Philippe. In terms of relationships, I have finally kicked the bugger out, so I'm now single but not looking for love right now, although my mother is desperate to see me tied down again. Alex is my younger sister and is chief executive. She is 35 years old and a brilliant entrepreneur, having built up several successful businesses. Her main interest is astronomy. In terms of relationships, Alex is attracted by anything with flashing lights and a sensor. Nicholas is Director of Sales and Marketing. Nicholas is charming and persuasive, and I've even heard it said that he could sell a virus to the Chinese. Nicholas was appointed by Alex. He is 32 years old and has a partner, Kelly, and they are expecting their first child together. Outside of work, Nicholas plays scrum half for the Tigonians rugby team. Ron is the head of legal and company secretary. He is my uncle by marriage. Ron is 68 and has a fine legal brain and has saved the company a lot of money with severance and non-disclosure agreements. He drew up my prenuptial agreement and, as a result, I have the house and the bugger has the Tesla. Ron is happily married to Aggie and they have 2 sons. Anna is chair of the board and is mum to Alex and me. She is also 68 years old and is an extremely astute, if slightly austere, businesswoman. She is German. Her main interest is also playing the violin, having also been a concert violinist and who bought me my first mini violin. Anna is divorced from Charles, Alex's father. Yuko, or Yuk, as she likes to be known, is Director of Innovation. Of Japanese descent, Yuk was appointed by Alex, with whom she's worked for many years. Yuk's interest is also music, as she plays the oboe and English horn to a very high standard. Yuk is 32 years old and married to Freddie, who works for the Ministry of Defence and who travels the world as part of his job. They are planning to make their permanent base here in Surrey. Fiona is Director of IT. She is 28 years old and has a fine grasp of detail combined with being able to see the big picture. She is happily married to Kane and they have twin daughters. Outside of work, Fiona enjoys orienteering and fell running. Nawal is the newest member of our team and is Director of Quality. She is 28 years old and brings experience in working in the charity sector. She has a terrific sense of humour and is also passionate about green issues. Outside of work, Nawal's main interest is DIY, and she is currently restoring her house. Now I will introduce you to some of our middle managers and team members. Julia is head of software design and is 40 years old. I appointed her via the previous graduate trainee scheme, and we have been friends ever since, although our paths have diverged. She is a very good manager of her team of creative people. She is married to Tim, who has just run off with Stella Bavary, originally of sales. Silas is the HR manager, who is currently under me at the moment. I also appointed him via the graduate trainee scheme. He is 30 years old and his interests are fencing and modelling. Fencers tend to get snapped up for modelling as they are lithe and elegant, and Silas's auburn hair makes him in demand for the local fashion houses. Silas has just split up from his girlfriend. William is head of finance and reports to me. He has worked with me for longer than I would care to remember. He is an extremely accomplished accountant, a safe pair of hands who compliments me well. William is 35 and married to Rebecca, and they have just welcomed their first child, Charlie. Lucas is the groundsman at Tigon, and he also helps me with the bedding at my house. He is 24, from the Caribbean, and very laid back. As a result, he has a calming influence on others, and with me in particular. I have to check that he's not planting anything too exotic, though, if you get my drift. Estelle, known as Stella, is our newly appointed acting head of logistics, as Bruce is on long-term sick leave. She is 26 and is a very effective negotiator, having used her charms to get concessions from suppliers where others have failed. Outside of work, Estelle enjoys dancing, particularly the rumba. At 23 years old, Marcus is the newest member of the design team, a sensitive chap who has loads of ideas but is lacking a little bit in self-confidence. Outside of work, Marcus volunteers for the local food bank. And finally, I hope this has given you useful background information about my colleagues and myself for when you start coaching within our organisation. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments, suggestions, or need more information, then do get in touch.